Well, good afternoon, Flame.
Good
How are you?
afternoon, Lauren Hogan. How are you?
I'm good, and let's welcome everyone to Laugh and Learn.
Flamettes, where you at? Chime in, come on through. Come on in the room. Hello, everyone. Hello, Tribble. Hello, Kendall. Welcome, everyone, to Laugh and Learn with Flame, Nick, and Laureen Hogan. That's what I call Lauren, y'all. Laureen Hogan. We are off to a wonderful, the first day of February. Yes. Also Black History Month. Hello, Nick.
I'm trying to make sure I'm not too close.
Oh, you look great, and you sound wonderful.
Sounds good. Hey, happy Black History Month, ladies.
Your beard looks fantastic. Did you just freshly get it done?
I did. Brother Lamont Kimball, black-owned business here in Little Rock. He's doing his own thing. And Flame, he was a victim of COVID. So he was able to bounce back, and he has a young son with asthma. I hope I'm not sharing too much of his business, but he shared this. You know, the barbershop, everybody talk.
Okay, yeah.
So, yeah, but he's doing well. He's back, and I'm happy to support. So, yep.
Well, thank you for joining us today, Mr. Smith.
But I have to tell you, though, he couldn't. He's like, Nick, how was it working with that funny motherfucker?
Who?
It wasn't Lauren, so I'm just gonna.
About to say, I know it wasn't me.
The language, nigga. What the language?
I know. So that's it. But and that's it. I just have to let you know. People think you are a funny MF. So there you go.
I'll take it. I'm an MF and I'm an FF. I ain't done the mamas and the daddies. I'm just saying, you asked, you said, I'm just repeating what you said. Lauren looks exceptionally pretty today, don't she?
Lauren
when she got here, I didn't look at Lauren, and then I just looked at her. I said, oh, Lauren, you look so pretty today. Look, today.
I told you, I only get dressed for you guys. Well, at least in the face. I got on sweats.
There is a saying that is a universal truth. It's impossible to not be a beautiful woman if you graduate from Spelman. So that's like people know that. That's just the truth.
Period. I love that. Mm-hmm.
That was an ass kissing line if I ever heard one.
Don't be a hater. It's okay. Don't be a hater. It's okay.
No,
that's just one of those things they say.
Good morning, Black History Month. So let me give y'all a tad bit of Black history from my perspective. I actually am part of history because I was the first transgender stand-up comedian to ever do Comic View. Now I wasn't the first drag comedian to do Comic View because. Amazing Grace, may she rest in peace, also did Def Jam, and she passed on. But yeah, I'm the very first.
You are indeed. And I remember how it literally upset the room, as in the comedy was good. People are always surprised by the first of anything, right? Mm-hmm. And then when it meets and exceeds their expectations, they're like, well, I didn't know that was going to be that funny. Well, what did you expect? So yeah. This kind of touches on to what Joe was talking about, how there used to be theme nights for different things like that.
Well, in 2004, I was on the circuit here in L.A., and Chris Spencer, I don't know if you guys remember him, he hosted a show called After Dark or something years ago. He's a comedian, an actor. He made a phone call to a producer, Joyce Coleman at BET, and say, hey, I want you to put this person on the show. Just like that. I didn't have to audition or anything. When I got there, they were terrified of me. They actually tried to push me as a woman in 2004. I'm like, now, I've been a lot of things, but I ain't going to pass as nobody's woman. Y'all know. The body was banging, and I was young and slim, but I was never one of the passable girls. And I accept that part about me. I was cool with that because, if you came to play, you had to play with everything. But anyway, they were so terrified of what I was going to say and how people were going to receive me that they would not push me because BET back then, 2004, as a trans comedian because they was like, oh my God, we're terrified. What are you going to talk about? Woo, woo, woo. So I'm like, just sit back. But that was the show that Ricky Smiley hosted, and he came in my dressing room and held my hand and said, you're the first one, go out there, do your thing, have a good time, represent. And that made it all better because I went out there and I killed it, and the rest is history.
And here you are.
And here we are.
And Flame, for those who don't know who Ricky Smiley is, give us a little bit of background because everybody in Chicago knows Ricky, but I'm not sure that everybody who may be listening in, chiming in to Laugh and Learn, may be familiar with Ricky.
Ricky is a comedian from Alabama. He has a radio show. What is the radio show called?
Ricky Smiley Morning Show.
Morning Show. And they have the other one, The Dish, right?
That Dish one, yeah.
Yeah, so, and Ricky was just a cool dude. I'm telling you, it makes it easier when your constituents that work with you accept you for who you are and not what they want you to be. And that's all that was. That year was great. The next year didn't go so well because it was a different host with a different energy. Energy is very transferable. Y'all need to know that. Energy is transferable. He transferred good energy to me. I transferred it to the TV. After that, they was in love with me. They
Well,
were
Flame,
in love with me.
talk to us about this week as we're going here, because you've had a busy week.
And we all have. Lauren's been working. You've been working. I taped. We did the second year of my second year. This was their third year of the AHF's International Condom Day campaign. That's how I met Lauren. She was over there last year, and this year we couldn't travel, so we did a video, which was much harder than traveling. Taping is harder than live theater. Let me just say that.
And tell them why, though.
Because you have to redo and retake and over, and they have to get certain visual shots. But that wasn't even the most challenging part. The most challenging part was I had to do stand-up, no audio. I couldn't even see me talking to me. So they were in the room, but they couldn't make a sound because the audio picked up everything. So I was trying to tell stories and jokes to entertain myself, but I couldn't even see the look on my face. So it was very challenging. But I'm a professional, bitch. I pulled it off, baby, because it was a check. We like side checks.
And so much about live performance, too, is about that feedback immediately, and you couldn't get that.
Exactly.
You couldn't get that interaction. Yeah.
Well, I didn't have a bait. I love the fact that you and Lauren are here because y'all bait me. See, I had to. It was just go. I'm a warm up bitch. I gotta ease into it. It's like getting sex without the warm up. I ain't no go. What is the hell is go? Jump? No. Don't you count the three, or don't you look back or something? Go. I'm like, I can't go. But we made it work. And when it comes out on February the 13th, it's going to be visually beautiful. Those were some of the most talented children from this year and last year. Those kids could dance amazing. So you guys, it's going to be free. It's going to be live stream on AHF's website. I'll have all the link and all the information up as soon as I get it. And you should watch it free. You should watch it that night, because once they put it on YouTube, they might monitor the music and you won't be able to hear it, so it won't have the same effect. But that was my week.
And we do want to remind everybody, because I can see some of the Flamettes sounding off, that if you want to join the conversation, jump on in there. Make sure you're sitting in good light, you've got those headphones, and that you use a flame at the bottom so that we know that you're ready to join the conversation. My week was simple. Lauren and I had a chance to catch up also, because we were talking yesterday. Lauren, you and I talked about how we're just trying to find different times to, in a busy day, still work out. And and so, mornings are my time. Like, I really enjoy the mornings. I've always been a morning person, though. Even when I was a morning reporter, I enjoyed being up 4 a.m, 5 a.m, because it's just quiet. And it's just that nobody cares if you're listening to an old Vanessa Bell Armstrong song. It's just you and God. You're just in your Zen space. And whatever happens to be stressing me or on my mind, maybe the night before or that day, when you get up that morning, you start moving and exercising. For some reason, it all just comes together. It really does.
Yeah, for sure. And I think for me too, on a selfish note, I like working out at 6 a.m. because I wake up at 4:30 and then I drive to where my trainer is. There's just no traffic. I hate traffic. So that's really my motivation in honesty. But on Sundays, I started doing a beach workout. One, because, that person said I was snacking. So I'm trying to make sure y'all can't talk about me anymore. So I took the snacking comment. I have been working out. But to your point, though, it helps me get back into the groove of things. I have new energy and, it gets me through the day. I hate waking up at 4:30, but I
am not a part of this conversation. Working out, what that mean? I got hand-to-mouth disease.
But you're a morning person. You are a morning person.
I am a morning person, but I'm not going to the gym. I'm not going to the weight room.
I'm working out for the both of us. Yeah. Is what's happening. I'm doing
I lost weight. I lost a couple of pounds this week because they had me dancing in here. We had 4 12-hour days. I had 12-hour days with 10-hour heels, with 6-hour legs and 4-hour feet. So yeah, it's like that.
Which kind of leads into my next point, Flame. 12-hour days, but you kind of had a little bit of vacation, if I'm not wrong, because the 2 of the teenagers are gone.
The Lord is my shepherd.
She switched the glasses.
I won't. My daughters are gone. Drama 1 and Crossdresser 2 is not in my house right now, and my house is very free. My son has been very responsible. So thank you, Jesus, for the break. They'll be home Monday. But I'm enjoying my time where they gone. Anywho, where we going? And
I want to make sure we recognize Cicely Tyson. That's what we were going to do before we jumped into anything else there. With it being
Black History
Month, but also we knew that we wanted to recognize her.
Yeah, and I just want to make a quick quote from what Viola Davis posted. It just really spoke to me. She made an Instagram caption just to honor the relationship that she and Cicely Tyson had, and just the phenomenal life that she led in this movie industry. So she basically just said, you gave me permission to dream because it was only in my dreams that I could see the possibilities in myself. I'm not ready for you to be my angel yet, but I also understand that it's only when the last person who has a memory of you dies that you'll truly be dead. So she said that to basically say she's going to live on forever because she touched so many lives. She influenced so many people and just broke so many barriers. So she will be in our history books, to say the least. And we honor and cherish her memory and all that she did for us. So thank you, Cicely Tyson.
Absolutely. You know, Flame, you and I have had a chance to talk about before because we're a little bit older. You and I remember Autobiography of Miss Jane Pittman when it first came out, how seminal that movie was. And I think it's one of those things where we've also heard people say, give people their flowers while they're here. And I'm glad that I do believe, from what I can see, because I didn't know Miss Tyson, of course, but from the outside, it seems as though she was allowed to get her flowers while she was here. Seems like she was celebrated by so many African Americans whose lives she touched, who were able to bless her in different ways, you know, as a professional and as the accomplished actress that she was.
She made a lot of movies too. We only know her mostly for some of the newer generation knows her for the Tyler Perry stuff. But Sounder, you know, she was in Sounder with what was the guy's name from Sounder?
Yeah,
he was a great actor. Oh my God, I cannot think of his name. But he was a great Paul Winfield. He had the best speaking voice. Oh my God, he had the most amazing voice. And that was a great movie back in the day. And she lived to be 96. So when we get to Holland, ooh, it's so sad. And it is sad that passing is happening. But you know we all going to die. We all have to die. It is not about dying. It is definitely about living. She lived a good life. The Bible promises 70 years if you live according to the Bible. Anything after that is a blessing. She got 26 years after that as a blessing. So hats off to you. And she always looked good. So let me tell you something. Millie Jackson said, when you look good, you know you looking good. Don't nobody have to tell you you looking good. When you looking good, you got a different walk. She was 96 years old, and she could still get around and walk. You know how many people 96 can't do nothing? Miss what's her name? Cicely Tyson? Because my man just went blank. Cicely was making her corn purse, baby. Miss Cicely was making her change.
Yes,
and looking good. And she always was a grand lady. She was always a grand lady. You know, that's especially as an older black woman. Because you get older, you get complacent. But I love the fact that whatever era she was from, she always dressed up. I always dress up for work.
I completely agree. And if you'll remember, it wasn't a couple years ago, and one of the Flamettes will remember, but she wore a hat to somebody's funeral, and that became a meme because she wore one of the, it became Cicely Tyson's church hat, became like a meme. And I can't remember if it was Michael's funeral or maybe it had to be more recent than Aretha, but I just remember her hat and the way the hat that she wore still in the show, and everybody talking about Cicely Tyson's hat. So, yeah, I'm glad. I pray that she rests.
I don't know what you did different today, but not only do you look better, you sound good today. You're very clear. What did you do? You took a bath or something? What did you do?
Working with my producer, Tribble, and I've been working on the audio to make sure it's right. So shout out to Tribble. Kendall told me where to sit, and I'm using the window instead of using an artificial light source. So that's what it is.
You are very professional. Good. I don't care what they say about you.
Well, hey, maybe my mama watching. Mama, is you there? Mama.
Miss Rosetta peeking in, baby. I got a new bed this week too, y'all. I finally got a bed. I'm no longer sleeping on the floor. I've been on the floor for how long?
Not on the floor. You were sleeping on the mattress. Yeah. Flame, people are thinking.
I was on the damn floor. When you old and you got to get up out the bed and it's too low, it's like a task. It's like when you get in a car. That's why I drive trucks, so I can step out. Getting in the car is one thing. Peeling yourself out, you know, you have to roll out sometimes. It's harder. So I have a bed, and I broke it in yesterday. Thank you very much.
I want to kind of start today with one of the things we were talking about, you guys, that we saw hit the headlines, and that was just the effect that COVID continues to have on the economy and on the community. One of the things that I read this week that I found kind of interesting because it just never even dawned on me is the cost of COVID and how it's affecting nursing homes. Most nursing homes say that they won't be able to stay open another year due to the cost of the pandemic because they weren't expecting to have to pay the overtime, the PPE, the cleanup, and the way they've had staff members get sick and they can't have two staff members now service the entire ward. You have to limit the interaction different people have, and they were not anticipating these costs. And the reason I mention that is that so many of us rely on nursing homes to take care of our older relatives, there are a lot of people who depend on nursing homes to be that caregiver to their loved ones. And I think this may have a detrimental effect, on a lot of people down the road that they're just not expecting.
Yeah, and I think it's something unfortunate. Like, speaking from personal experience, my great grandmother, like I said before, she turned 101 in January. She actually had a live-in aide because we didn't want to put her in a nursing home specifically. But even with that, when COVID hit, she couldn't be there anymore. So my grandmother went and got her because she's only like 5 blocks away from her, and she's been living with her. So it's really unfortunate that, COVID has caused so many economic issues, and we're at the point now where, to your point, we can't have, nursing homes may not be an option, and everybody can't have the capacity to have their relative living with them. So it's just an unfortunate situation to be in at this point,
It's about to be a lot of Golden Girls situations. Understand that. A bunch of old folks about to be living together. Y'all need to know that.
Yeah.
It's about to be a bunch of Golden Girl situations. That's it. I don't even know if I want to be put in a nursing home.
I wouldn't want to. Yeah.
You wouldn't? Mm-mm. If I'm on one of those machines, and just pull the plug, honey. I don't want to live like that. I don't want nobody wiping my butt and changing my drawers. I don't want you to do it. I'm very independent. I don't want that. So I would rather you just get rid of me, honey. Just throw a bitch in a can or something. I'm good.
I think it's it's part of that whole uncomfortable conversation you sometimes have to have, because you and I both know you also have relatives who get a little bit older and they still want to be so independent that they try to drive on their own or they do different things, and you don't want them to be vulnerable or susceptible to crime or somebody coming into the house who does not have their best interest at heart. So all these things are just, I think, the best way around it. And, again, Flamettes can chime in, but I think the best way to do it is to have that conversation with your loved one to say, hey, what do we do in different situations? What do you want to have happen?
What if they're not in their right frame of mind? They're not going to know what to do. Let me tell you something. What's the man? Y'all keep letting Harrison Ford, old-ass flat planes, take the damn keys. Shit, just take the keys.
What you got against Harrison Ford?
I love Harrison Ford, but he's not going to keep crashing planes. How many times he crashed? Twice?
Yeah, at least twice. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. No, hell no.
Yeah.
Hide the keys. If they're already thinking they out of their mind, just work with them, baby. Wait, baby, you seen my keys? I ain't seen them, Grandma. Keys be right in your pocket. I ain't seen them, Grandma. That's simple. Shit.
But you know what's interesting too, though, Nick, I don't know if you've seen this as well, but Governor Cuomo is actually being investigated by the Attorney General, Letitia James, as well, for underreporting COVID deaths in nursing homes.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I'm curious to see how that shakes out.
It will be interesting to see how that shakes out. I think a little bit of backstory to that. I think that there were different ways of reporting, right? And I think that the problem is Governor Cuomo hasn't necessarily been as transparent, Ms. James argues, as he should have been with the number of people who are dying in different facilities. He says, yes, some of the people died in the facility, but they were already sick before they got there. And it may or may not have been COVID related, that there are people who die in nursing homes who do die, and it's not related to COVID. And that's where I think the investigation is going from. But he and Governor Newsom out of California right now are both under a lot of scrutiny because of just different ways both governors have handled the pandemic.
They hot with Newsom here too. They got signs all on the freeway. Yeah. They are protesting against Newsom. They are hot with Newsom.
I think they want to stage a recall, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's been discussed as well too. Yeah.
So COVID continues to claim casualties clearly, and not only the physical realm but also the political realm as well. There, so we'll definitely see how it all shakes out. It's just one of the many things I think that we need to keep an eye on, because now where are we now with the COVID death numbers, you guys?
I stopped looking at it. I did.
Yeah.
I stopped looking at it, and I didn't stop looking at it because I don't care.
Right.
I just was very busy this week, so I really haven't had a chance to look at the news, A. And then, B, if 2 million people pass, I'm still not taking the vaccine, so that's not going to even persuade my man. Baby, I tell you, if I see one more company come out with a vaccine, first, what was it at first, Lauren?
It was Pfizer.
Pfizer, 2 shots. It had to be sub-zero temperature. Then it turned into 1 shot. Different companies did it. It could be room temperature. First of all, I don't like room temperature water. I don't even like room temperature sex. I like it to be hot. Secondly, I'm not interested in taking any of that. You guys do what you want to do, but I'm not taking it. When some shit start falling off, call me. Hey, boo.
Well, speaking of casualties, I think we can shift into the next topic as well. Nick, you and I talked about this yesterday, is that over the weekend, Trump's legal team for his impeachment trial actually quit on him.
Yes.
Dude. And that happened due to he wanted them to argue that the election was fraudulent.
Allegedly. Now his spokesperson, his spokesperson for his team has since come out and said that that's fake news. But according to sources and according to reporting by the New York Times, that's indeed what happened. That the legal team for President Trump wanted to mount a defense on the constitutionality of whether or not one can impeach a person who is no longer in office. Mr. Trump wanted them to argue the fact that the election was false. And the challenge with that is you cannot argue something you know not to be true as a licensed attorney and want to hold on to that license and not be brought up on charges. So
you're gonna lose your license.
They wouldn't do it. Yeah, they would not do it. He has, though, since then. We are happy to report.
Yes.
He has indeed, since then, Lauren, hired two new attorneys.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, indeed.
Please tell me one of them is Giuliani. I just want to make sure he loses.
No, it's not Giuliani.
No, actually,
but two controversial attorneys. They have a record of being very controversial in the cases that they argue. So go ahead, please.
They are indeed. They are David Schoen and Bruce Castor. Schoen, an attorney from Georgia, numbers amongst his clients, all sorts of reputed mobster figures, and also does not believe that Jeffrey Epstein killed himself. He was supposed to represent Jeffrey.
I agree with him on that one.
I do too. I don't think Jeffrey Epstein killed himself. I agree on that one.
And then Mr. Castor is an attorney from Pennsylvania and the former district attorney, and he's known for his decision to not prosecute Bill Cosby in 2005 after Andrea Constad accused a comedian of sexual assault. And he said that, in 2017, he sued Ms. Constad for defamation, claiming she destroyed his political career. So,
okay, so here it is. Guess what? Those two lawyers are already paid because not my Flamettes, because, we pride ourselves of having the smartest listeners on the internet. But all you all who donated $400+ million to that he's going to be the president again campaign, y'all already paid for his lawyers. Y'all already paid for his, because it's like Cash App. You ain't getting your money back. You send the money to the wrong person. Yeah, you blessed them. Thank you. Hopefully they needed it.
Now, that is absolutely true.
That's absolutely
They're already paid. They're already paid because he don't need to raise no money for that. So before he starts saying, I need money for legal fees, nigga, we already sent you $420 million that you owe $420 million to. Now, not me, because, I'm not sending you shit. But I know my Flamettes didn't either. Nicholas, did you donate to the Trump administration for for legal?
I did not. No, I did not. Yeah.
I have to check with you, player, because sometimes you be surprised at me. But you look so handsome today, Nicholas. If we weren't friends, I would probably try to push up on you, but you ain't my type.
Yeah.
I said probably. Don't run with it. Don't run.
The compliment ended with a little bit of shade, but that's okay.
You're like, let it sit there, move on, move on.
Exactly.
But it is disheartening to think that his whole legal team quit, but they still got Republicans in the Senate that's still pushing his narrative. It's ridiculous. It is. And what is the bitch name? Let's
segue. Let's segue.
What's her name? I called her a bitch.
Segue.
What is the bitch name?
Her name is Marjorie Taylor Greene, and she's actually in the House. She's in the House.
Is she on the live?
No.
Bring her in, Marjorie. Come on. I got something for you, sister. She goes to work every day after pushing the whole QAnon, or what is it called? QAnon thing, with her gun. She don't even have to go through the metal detector. So she goes up in here angry, already talking about something should happen to Pelosi and what's the other one, Cortez, and she still got her job. That's BS on every level. That is BS on every level with this government. And you wonder why I won't take a vaccine from this government if you don't know.
Well, let's add some context to it. So I'll do this intro, Nick. So Marjorie Taylor Greene is an American politician and U.S. representative for Georgia's 14th congressional district, and some Republicans and Democrats are calling on, their constituents to stand up against her in terms of some of the controversial things she said. And to your point of her, making very threatening statements towards Nancy Pelosi and other folks that are within Congress, the claim is that she did it before she was elected, so she shouldn't be held accountable because they decided to elect her anyway. That's the argument that's being made.
That's BS. They hold everybody else accountable, but this cancel culture will cancel everybody, starting with what's his name, Kevin Hart, when they wouldn't let him host for something that he said 12
Oscars.
years ago. No, everything is canceled. They on Ellen's ass about, people work for her as me. I'm not buying that. She should be removed. That is a threat on somebody's life. And let me tell you something, lady. Let me move over. On. Fuck with Pelosi if you want to, because Pelosi is my bitch. Fuck with it if you want to. This wig coming off and I'm coming at you. You ain't gonna even recognize it. I'm gonna roll up on you like a brother. You gonna think I'm the damn doorman. You ain't gonna even see it coming, sister. I be to grab that gun and your ass. You better leave my Nancy Pelosi. You know I love Nancy Pelosi.
I think
it's terrible. It's sad. It's really sad. It really shows who America is. They keep continuing to show themselves again and again and again.
And more so, I think the Republicans. And Nick, I'll turn it over to you after I make this last point. Even Representative Adam Kissinger, I don't know if you've seen that today. He actually came out against and said, Marjorie Taylor Greene is a problem, and he's also supporting Trump's impeachment. And he said he's been getting disownment emails from his family, from his friends, and people saying, you're the devil. How dare you turn your back on Trump and support Democrats? So the Republican Party as a whole is really experiencing a break, is what people are saying, and Trump has really shaken up the whole dynamic of it. So Nick,
he has indeed, Lauren, and I think this is where either we are ridiculously removed or something is happening where we are missing what the draw is, because I really do try to get it when I don't get it. When people say, "Oh, you're gonna love such and such," it's so funny. You're gonna love blah blah blah. It's the best thing ever. Blair Witch Project is the scariest movie you'll ever see. So you go and you're like, okay, wow, what didn't I get? What are we missing that so many people are willing to literally lay prostrate for President Trump? For former President Trump. I'm blown away by the number of people who will fall and take a knee and kneel before His Highness just to kiss the robe of his garment, or just to be blessed by him. I'm seriously floored. I don't get where he moved into deity status, that people are just so enamored with him that they will literally walk away from everything that they know.
I
Marco
told you
Rubio,
2 weeks
Ted
ago.
Cruz.
I told you 2 weeks ago why this is. Because before he got into politics, he was a businessman who did business with both sides of the coin. He did business with Republicans and with Democrats. He knows dirt on everybody.
Blackmail.
So he is in a position to destroy you because he knows dirt on you. Illegal dirt, as far as what do they call it when you building buildings and all that? What is that called?
Real estate?
Yeah, real estate, and with building the buildings too. All the materials where they order construction from China. His hand is in all those pots. And as dumb as we think he is, and I do think that he's dumb, he's smart enough to remember, I hold the cards on you. I can pull the plug on you at any given time. The only people who challenges him are people who've never done business with him, i.e. Nancy Pelosi, i.e. Kamala Harris, i.e. Joe Biden. But the people who have done business with him, he got the goods on them. This is why they revert to not saying anything. Because I'm still not going to understand that as a man, Ted Cruz, how you going to let him disrespect your wife publicly to the world, and then you still side with this nigga? I'm just telling you, he got dirt on people.
Yeah, I think blackmail is definitely a key part of this, because there's different stories that are around. I'm not going to say anything is factual or true. I'm just simply stating what I'm reading, is that, the Lindsey Graham situation and going to the UK, and there's this whole little boy, component to that. We don't know exactly what it is.
Wait a minute. I missed something. Wait a minute.
You haven't read that? You haven't read that?
Lindsey Graham was going overseas playing with the little boys?
So there was 2 years ago, or I think it was 2 years ago, Lindsey Graham was flying to the UK. He made about 12 trips to the UK, and there's supposedly he was doing something with little boys. It's not confirmed or denied. I'm just simply stating what I'm reading, so nobody hold me accountable. But that is the story behind Lindsey Graham and why he flip-flopped so drastically from 2016 to when Trump was elected to being a Trump supporter.
Flip-flop.
Supposedly, that's what It is. Everybody look it up. You can go and read it. It's not confirmed. We don't know if it's true, but that is something that I've read in, news articles.
I'm just going to say this about that. Stevie Wonder can see that. Shit.
I think, specifically with Mr. Trump, I think my biggest issue, if we didn't have an issue before, is the fact that now you have someone who clearly led an insurrection against the House of Congress, House of Representatives and Congress. You know that this happened. Many of you were there and were yourselves moments from being victimized, yet you still will not hold this man accountable for the actions of those whom he incited. I just don't get it.
He got dirt on him. I'm telling you, and that Lindsey Graham story is not even a stretch because, for years, I'm telling you, I know a bunch of the boys who do the dating sites and with rent porn, on Rent Men. It's called Rent Men. And whenever they have those big conventions, Republican and Democrat, let me be honest, they say a lot. They make a lot of money doing those things. They go to those cities and they get picked up by a lot of statesmen. That's what I'm saying.
Well, I didn't say
that somebody said Lindsey Graham name personally, but I've heard that for years from personal friends.
And to be messy, we'll just be a little messy
Let's
here.
It's
no different from if the whole mail-ordered bride thing situation as well, because there's some politicians where it's like, where'd your wife come from? So, I mean, hell, we can even say
the mailbox.
We can even say that about Melania. Melania married Trump, and all of a sudden her whole family came over here and got green cards. So they're even saying that about her. But I'm just saying.
Let me tell you something about that Melania, y'all. She gone now, so I can say it. I don't know who the hell Cardi B was talking about with the WAP, because Cardi B might have a WAP, but her man kept cheating on her, and she married to him. Baby, let me tell you something about Melania. She went from being a escort to allegedly to a model showing all her body to she married the most powerful man in the world. Baby, let me tell you something about Melania. I don't know what you was talking about, Cardi B. You might have a WAP, but that Melania got the bop 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 bop, baby, because she became the first lady off hers. I'm thinking about getting me one. I can go as far as at least the Secretary of State or some shit. What?
Well, I think in Melania's case, she was looking for a meal ticket to get her family out and just ended up becoming the first lady, which she wasn't too happy about. Yeah.
Smart girl, Melania. I can't fight on that one, baby. When it's good, it's good. And when you find the food, you found the food. Unfortunately, they unloaded him on us for 4 years. But when you can find the food, you can find the food.
Yeah.
I just want to say with Marjorie Taylor Greene, though, I think that to kind of bring it back to how we started with her, the number of things that she has done, many believe literally move beyond the pale, right? She has openly mocked survivors of the shooting in
Sandy Hook.
Sandy Hook, saying that it wasn't real, and I don't know anything I think that could be crueler than to maybe mock a parent who loses a child, right? And for you to say that. Now I understand that what she has also said privately to them, listen, I don't really believe that. I'm sorry for your loss, but I support people who do, and I need to represent my people. So I'm not sure. At that point, I'm like, then you really are morally corrupt if you will purposely say things publicly that hurt people, and you don't even believe it, but you want to hold on to political power, in order to go forward with that. That was released this morning on CBS, that supposedly she has said to parents of those who were victimized at Sandy Hook, look, I don't really believe it.
And Parkland as well. Parkland.
Okay, so
let's clarify though. So the Sandy Hook situation, from what I was reading, is she was not empathizing with the parents and basically saying that it wasn't accurate of all that happened. In terms of Parkland, she actually was walking behind one of the students who was at the forefront of speaking out against gun violence and was mocking him as he was walking across the street and basically trying to delegitimize the experience of the shooting. So those are the two instances regarding her, just to clarify. But go ahead, Flame.
Racism is a learned behavior. I'm even surprised that we're having this conversation about that. There is no, I'm shocked. They have been getting away with stuff just like this for years and years and decades. She's just bringing it out. if this was somebody of color, black or brown, they would have FBI, their phones would be tapped, they would probably be under the jail. So I don't even want to make an excuse for her. This is some shit that they are allowing her to get away with. And that's how I felt like about Trump. They allowed this fool to do half the things that he did. Somebody is in control of everybody. He is out of control.
Flame, I think that what has people so surprised about this, that they have censured and removed members before. And that's why everybody's surprised that why are you all continuing to let this go forward? That something very different is happening here. When Steve King of Iowa had said something about to the New York Times a few years ago about, I don't understand why everybody's so upset with white supremacy. It did a lot of good. They're like, whoa, dude, this is just too much. Mitt Romney led the charge to have him removed. In fact, they all thought it was just too much. You don't represent Republicans. We are not racist people. Well, something has shifted that Marjorie Taylor Greene is now, and going back to something else you said, Flame, there are those who also argue we can't remove her because she was fairly elected and the people in Georgia love her, or people in her district, they love her. She won fair and square, saying many of these things before the election. We knew who she was before we elected her. She is there doing exactly what we elected her to do. Don't let my voice not to be heard. If you don't like what she has to say, vote her out next time around. That's the
black folks in Chicago. Y'all hear that? That y'all voted Lori Lightfoot in. She's not pleasing you, but ain't nobody marching outside of Marjorie Taylor Greene's house. I'm just showing the hypocrisy of the races. I don't want y'all to always think that I'm against everybody else. I'm talking about us right now. I'm talking about us. Y'all voted her in. Give her a chance. I can't give this woman no chance. This woman is in Congress, openly threatened to harm the Speaker of the House as well as Cortez. She should be removed. She should be arrested. They should take away all her firearms. She should lose all her pension and everything else, because if it was one of us, it would be way worse. And I'm not going to see it no other way. I'm going to let you say what you got to say.
Well,
I'm sorry, Lauren Hogan.
No, I'm just going to say.
Got hot. I'm ready to go to Georgia and start some shit.
I'm just going to say, though, that, Nick, to your point of people making that argument that she was elected, but we've expelled senators and, House representatives before. I don't remember the exact date, so don't hold me to it. But when there were still House representatives that supported the Confederacy, they were expelled. And I think the latest expulsion that we had was in the 1980s, if I'm not incorrect. So
Lauren, Al Franken. Remember, people were so.
Thank you.
Yes, I know exactly what you're saying.
Thank you.
I don't understand. That's how it goes back to. I'm like, what is happening here? The people are so hypnotized. What made Trump greater to them than Reagan? Reagan used to be the beacon of what republicanism, and we've all heard this before. Reagan was the great communicator, best president that ever walked the face of the earth. He was like literally the second coming of Christ to many. So something happened along the way. Something happened along the way.
This is how I feel about. Let me tell you what the Republicans are trying to do. They're trying to get their reputations back. Y'all elected to put this person in front of y'all to represent y'all. Y'all not gonna get it back. That will be a stain on y'all in y'all record for the rest of your existence.
And there's
this is how I feel about it. This is how I feel about it. Mother had you. Mother love you. And
and there is bipartisan support to have her removed. One, like I said, is Adam Kissinger. He's getting death threats and disownments and everything else from his family. And there's also another Democrat on the other side of the aisle. And they're working together to develop a strategy to have her removed. So we'll see if that happens.
What's the black senator's name that made the video and was saying that she felt threatened? She had to look over her
Cori
shoulder.
Bush.
Cori Bush.
Yeah, Cori Bush looked like she gonna take her down. If she put them guns down, they had to go toe to toe. Miss Marjorie, girl, you better put your dukes up, baby, because Miss Cori Bush look like she's not having it.
But she's feeling it from a couple of people. I saw a video too. She walked into the Capitol and she didn't have a mask on, and there were representatives yelling at her saying, "Put your mask on," and she put that mask on, child. Yeah. So
Marjorie did.
Yeah, she did. So she's feeling it.
The problem is, I wish she could take her mask off. Because she has a mask on, but we see who you really are. And I ain't talking about the mask for coronavirus. I'm talking about that other mask, that mask of hate that you're wearing. Because racism is a mental illness. So we got this mental illness bitch on the damn in the Senate. Is that what it is? Because racism is mental illness. So we got a slow bitch on representing Georgia. Okay, Georgia, y'all did good with the blue on one hand, but that little part of Georgia where she from, I'm just saying.
But there's work to be done.
Hey guys.
Hey,
Good morning,
TC
Jan.
Jan.
How are you, love?
I'm doing well. Now, Corey's from St. Louis, and she was getting ready to dust up Marjorie and even their staffs, their staff people have had yelling matches about the mask, but the whole time Marjorie was on live trying to incite rhetoric, saying, you see what it's come down to? You see what's going on here? She's definitely got an agenda, and I don't know what it is yet, but we got to keep watching her, because they just gave out committee assignments and they put her on. She shouldn't be on education. She's on education, labor, and budget. So they need to take her committees and start isolating her, because McCarthy's not going to deal with her. And she wants to keep the craziness up. She really does. Her husband's there. All her kids are not there, but her husband's there. So, and they own a construction deal. So it's some kind of way, I know, because white folks don't come without an agenda, that they're going to try to swing something or grasp hold of some power, because that's their motivation. Hate us for being who we are. Now, you know what? If I don't want an abortion, then I don't have an abortion. If I don't like people with blue eyes, then I just stay away from people with blue eyes. If I don't like going to the synagogue, I don't go to the synagogue. But all these things, they've made a whole movement of disliking. These people hate who Trump hates. I don't know one person that's getting up saying, damn, I want some blue eyes. I want to be white.
Well, wait a minute before y'all judge T.G. Janet and think that she's racist because she's saying she got a blue-eyed dip. So I'm just letting y'all know she's talking in general, but she got a blue-eyed dip. If you join Love Lounge, you'll know about that. Come on, T.G. Janet.
And I do have a blue-eyed dip, but there are, and I have blue-eyed friends as well. So when I make blanket statements, I have to speak from where people are suffering and not try to put on kid gloves to make everybody feel like, oh, she's not talking about me. Because on your way to the office today, if you saw somebody the police pull over somebody to give them a ticket, you didn't stop and say, last week I ran that stop sign too. You kept on going. So if it doesn't apply to you, what I'm saying, then don't be insulted. Mm-hmm. But we have to know positively what this movement is about. As long as they felt like we couldn't have what they had, they could stomach us. So we didn't have a black president. So we know that they're on to something. They've got a black VP that's smart as a whip. We know they're on something. Every sport we feel like we want to compete in, we dominate that sport. When you look at blue-eyed women, they want you around for an accessory because they're dubbing your swag. They're trying to be you and be you better than you. They've always wanted to lay with your men. And for these white men that are sitting around talking about what they don't like, if they had a quick 15 minutes and they thought you'd buy into it, they'd have them some jungle love. So all this is to make them feel better. Because if you don't want these people, if you don't want this type of music, you turn to a different station on your radio. Nobody's running up to you saying, hey, like me. You better like me. Give a fuck. I don't give a damn about what you don't like.
Jan, you had got so hood. I love it.
I'm getting warm again. I'm getting warm.
They can try to imitate, copy, duplicate, but what's the motto, Janet? Can't know what?
Can't no bitch do what I do.
No,
day of the week.
And
in with what?
And for those just tuning in, what TT Jan is talking about is cultural appropriation at its finest. Okay,
right.
That's what it is. And to go back to Marjorie, though, I do want to touch on one point you made, too. Her being on the education committee, why it is so offensive and why people are so upset. And Republicans are saying, oh, Kevin McCarthy is going to go have a conversation with her, which is not going to do anything because there are reports, too, that he is the one that actually reports to some folks that are associated with QAnon. So it's going to be, it's going to fall on deaf ears. But because of the, insensitive and, just disrespectful comments she's made about, Parkland and Sandy Hook, that's why people are so outraged about her being assigned to the education community, because it's more of a slap in the face. Almost like all of what's happening on the Republican side of the aisle is intentional to cause hurt and more damage. So.
And it's not like the education system can stand it any longer. We had 4 years of Betsy DeVos dumbass, and she just ruined the damn education system. And along with the COVID, the kids have not been in school since March of last year here in California and in so many other different states. You don't replace dumb with even dumber, because she's even dumber and she's even more racist. And we'll never get Black history taught in schools because they don't teach Black history in the schools that my children go to in Long Beach because of the district that we live in. So if they don't learn it at home, they won't learn it. We are in a situation. I said it the other day. We have been in some shit, and we still in it, but we have shovels. Right. And I'm going to need us to get some mini shovels because we need to micromanage some stuff, don't we, Lauren?
No, we do. But also, too, this is going to be a defining point in history, though. And that's also, too, what's being talked about more is which side of history are you going to be known for standing on? Which side of the aisle are you going to be on? The side where it's convenient for you because, Trump may have some blackmail on you, or are you going to be on the side of right? That's what it is at this point.
And you know what? Everybody can't spend 20 years in Congress. So if that means that you had to be the martyr and stand up, then be that and be known for something, then fall for anything. This woman moved out of the district of her home, which is not uncommon, but to move to a district where she thought and she did win in. It's so crazy. I mean, I just don't know anybody who says, you know what, I want to be with you white people. I woke up and I'm pissed off. I've been trying to bleach my skin. Nobody's trying to warm up to these people. They're entertaining their own selves with stupidity.
Well, you said at the beginning of your conversation, I'm sorry, Lord, that there is a method to the madness. There is always a method to the madness.
Oh, yes, it is.
Well, I also, too, want to acknowledge that all of these far-right extremists, too, they're not all white. Let's also bring that in because, for instance, the leader of the Proud Boys, his first name is Enrique. So,
is that the one who stuck the dildo up his ass?
No, he's not a founder. He's their head.
He's the leader of the Proud Boys.
He liked the head, huh?
But his name. But my point is, his name is Enrique. So we still all of these folks that are the far right extremist racist groups, they're all not white. So we also need to acknowledge them too. Those folks are trying to assimilate and be a part of white supremacy. Right. However, they are not white. So we've got those group of folks too.
You've always saw that there's some that are going to sell out themselves because they want a larger crumb. It's not like the world's going to see them any differently. Ask OJ, ask Tiger. They still see you as such. You've just been selling out yourself. And as soon as they got a chance to put their foot on your neck, that's just what they do. I know there are Candace Owens out there. We know them. We know Pierre, I don't know his last name, who's a correspondent. I mean, that fight this and stand up for this rhetoric.
The Paris, oh my God. Mm-hmm. Wait a minute, T.T. Jan, let me get you light, because you had went too deep for me, and I'm not used to you going so deep, Jan, because girl, you had got aggressive. I had almost got turned on, girl, if you don't knock it off. T.T. Jan,
I got moist myself. I
Jan, who's your Super Bowl prediction for the Super Bowl? Who you going with?
Well, I like people, and so since my guy is Patrick, I'm going with Patrick Mahomes for the Chiefs all day, every day.
Thank you.
And you're not going to roll with the experienced Tom Brady?
You mean the Trump supporter? You mean the Trump supporter?
Tom don't get no love from me at all. Now, I do have a crush on his wife if I was going to go there, but Tom don't get love from me at all. Patrick Mahomes,
you support the Trump supporter?
Every day.
Oh, no. I definitely was going with Kansas City.
Okay, great.
Yeah, I was. Tom Brady too old. He needs to sit his old ass down. I ain't got past him with those shrinking the balls.
Oh gosh.
I like to shrink some balls. Oh, okay. Thank you, TTJ.
Love you guys.
We always appreciate you. Thank you.
My God, T.T. Jan said, baby,
she got hot.
Did she get? I was like, girl, I thought she was about to come through this phone.
She got pissed.
So Vesper's here. I think I saw Mark earlier. I think Cass is here. Jess
Pam
is here.
is here. A lot of our
Pam is
regulars.
here.
Thank you,
So
guys.
the family is here. So I want to make sure. I just want to share a quick story with you all because I want to begin with an apology. Last week I made a joke about, we've been talking about the weight loss and just the exercising. And I had mentioned at one point, I said, part of my struggle is because of me and my love for bread. And I said specifically, I'm addicted to bread. Well, I got pushback on that, and I'm just going to share with you guys. I got that from my mom, and I hadn't thought about it. And she says, Nick, don't joke about stuff like that. And I say, oh, Mom, it was just a joke. She says, I know, but that could offend some people. And I said, that was not my intention. So if I offended anyone, I apologize, because me saying that I was addicted to bread may have come off to some that I was making fun of addiction. That was not my intention. Because I then shared with you, and I'll share with you all, because I do believe that addiction is a disease, and I did not want to make fun of anyone who may be suffering from the disease of addiction. So,
well, I don't think you need to apologize for it, Nick, because I didn't take it that way. I didn't. I know your mom took it that way, and as someone who has family members and close personal family members battling addiction, I didn't take it that way. I didn't. So you're totally fine.
I want to address the addiction is a disease topic.
Uh-oh.
Bullshit. Let me say it. And if it's any addicts, and I'm talking about drug addiction, I don't know about no other addiction, but the addiction as a disease is bullshit. Unless you're born into a crackhead mother as a baby, you're born into it, you're already addicted as a newborn baby. That's a choice. Y'all can say what y'all want to. That's a fucking choice that you made. And in order to understand how that feels, speak to the child of an addict parent that was old enough to see their mom or dad doing things that they should have never seen their parents do for a fix or for a hit. Be a child that had went to the meetings with their mother to hear the addicts could laugh and joke about turning tricks in the alley, rolling under cars, sucking a dick for $10. But they didn't remember your birthday. They didn't remember that you need to go to school. They didn't remember to buy food for your house. I'm going to raise my hand because I'm the bitch I'm talking about. My mother was an addict for 25 years, but that was a choice that she made because she went through a broken heart. It's always another way. But we sometimes choose the way that's going to take the pain away. I'm not bashing my mother. My mother has been clean for 30 years. I'm very proud of my mother. But I'm talking about what I've witnessed as a child and the shit that I went through. And I hate when addicts, especially drug addicts, say, oh, it's not a disease. It's a fucking choice that you made. Wherever you were in your life at that time and you made that decision, that's a decision that not only you have to live with, but whoever you are responsible for has to live with. And it stays with you forever. I'm going to go back to 1987, the Club LaRays in Chicago. My girlfriend, Karen Alexander, who is still alive to this day and one of the most talented queens I've ever met in my whole life. The same fingernail that the guy in the back was passing around, he went to Amelia and said, you want a bump? She said no. He went to Erica Christian and said, you want a bump? She said no. He came to me and asked me, did I want a bump? I said no. He went to Casey Quartermain, may she rest in peace. She took it. She was addicted from that night on. Karen Alexander took the hit. She's been addicted from that night on. She has had a stroke. She is in a wheelchair. She's still alive to tell her story. And she's my friend, and she knew I was going to tell this story today. But that was a conscious choice that she made as a 21-year-old. Understand me. Stop using that crutch to say that fucking addiction is a disease. Just like they saying mental illness and racism is the same thing. You made a choice to do what the fuck you wanted to do. And if I sound like I'm upset about and I'm angry, I am. Because I think that that is a cop-out. And until we accept it for what it is and see it for what it is, we're going to keep on holding on to, oh, it's addiction. He addicted. My mother was on drugs. My father died, who I didn't really know, from cirrhosis of the liver. It was always a conscious choice for me never to smoke or drink. Now, I got introduced to edibles about 2 years ago. Bitch been high ever since. But had I taken that fingernail that night, because I can see it as vividly as I'm talking to you, I wouldn't be this person right here, right now. That's all I'm saying. That's a cop-out to me. So if you're addicted to something and you made the choice to constantly do it and do it and do it, if you know that you don't have that strong enough gene in your constitution or your DNA to fight, why even go and do it the first time if you know you're going to mess yourself up? That's all I'm saying. And you have people that are responsible for you, because for a very long time, I held on to that anger with my mother for a year. And not only, I'm sure of me, plenty of other children. What about the ones that go to jail and, their kids are... You never apologize to your children to me, because I don't think you could ever make that up and keep hollering, oh, it's a disease. A lot of you guys who get clean and sober with the whole 12-step program, y'all need 13 more steps, because you be clean from the drugs, but you still have the drug mentality. That's worse than being high. That's fucking worse than being high. Sorry, y'all. I didn't mean to go there. I had a jam moment. I had a jam moment.
It's so, and I think too, Flame, and wow, this is why I think it's so powerful. Is because... I watched you raise your little brother, and I think that's why your kids are so, I don't know. I think that's why they're so independent, so smart, and so you made sure none of the things that you experienced. And again, I don't want to speak for you, and I will stop here. They've never had to worry about the lights being on. They've never had to worry about refrigerator not being full. They've never been without. You get what I'm saying? That you've always made them a priority. And I think that is also what has made you a caregiver. You've cared for me. You've cared for me.
Don't cry.
I'm not.
You better not. I'll come through this phone on your ass. I told you about that. I will come through this phone on your ass. You better not.
That relationships matter, and yeah, they matter. I'll be right back. Lauren, go ahead and get a Flamettes for me. Would you please?
I love my Nick. Nick's so sensitive, y'all. I bet you Nick probably got some good sex, so he cry a lot. Ooh.
Well, I'll say this. I don't disagree with you. I don't. I totally acknowledge what you're saying. But I will say I'm kind of in the middle on the argument. And I say that because having a close family friend who was on drugs, homeless, and everything else in the streets for over, for about 10 years, and has been also clean and sober for 10 years. And I also currently have a family member who's addicted to drugs. We have no idea where he is. Having conversations where I think the disease argument sometimes is made is more so in the recovery and maintaining sobriety aspect of it, is what has, been explained to me. And I say that because if we give an analogy like diabetes, for an example, that's a disease. You can get over it, right? You can get over diabetes, but I see it as when you're diabetic, you have different triggers that can, throw off your blood sugar level and not have you in a state of stability in terms of where your blood sugar is.
But you don't necessarily be born with diabetes. Diabetes could be something that was already in you. You choose to do drugs. I'm only talking about drug addiction.
No. But that's to my point, though. You even mentioned how some babies are born because they're crack babies,
right?
And then there's other people that decide to get on drugs. So it's a choice. That's why I'm saying when you said that part, I absolutely agree with you. But I'm saying I think the disease argument could possibly be made is in terms of maintaining your sobriety and your recovery, because like I was saying with diabetes, you have different triggers that can throw your blood sugar off balance, and that's something you constantly are going to have to battle with. Drug addiction and overcoming that, you're going to constantly have to battle with different triggers that might trigger you to go get that fix, but it's going to constantly be a battle that you have to deal with for the rest of your life to maintain your sobriety. So that's why I'm saying I think I'm kind of in the middle, because I absolutely agree with what you're saying. I do. I understand that it's a choice part. Like I said, I have a family member who's currently addicted to drugs that I have no idea where he is. However, I also have, a close family member who has talked about his recovery and what that's like and how he constantly has to deal with it. So, and I think that's where the disease argument can be made. Those are my thoughts.
I told her she had to agree with me, y'all, because I would have fought her on camera if she didn't. No, I'm just joking. Well,
you never deny somebody's experience. I also don't believe in that, because that's your experience. You had it firsthand. You never deny somebody's experience. You acknowledge it, and then you provide feedback. That's how you actually have open-ended conversations and you learn from one another. So, hey, Vesper.
Oh, hey.
There's my white chocolate. Hi, my white chocolate.
How are y'all doing, beautiful ladies?
Good. How are you?
So, Vesper, we are having
struggling.
You hear the conversation, you hear the emotion, you hear the roller coaster ride. Y'all know when I'm at home, this is how I talk. So I ain't gonna change me for nobody. Let's do it.
Yeah, and when Nick was apologizing earlier, my whole thing is like it's better to beg for forgiveness than ask for permission. It's kind of the same thing. It's like, why apologize for something unless people get upset? And you shouldn't apologize for having your own opinion, unless that opinion is actively harming someone else. You know what I'm saying? And I agree with you, because everything you were talking about addiction, it all boils down to self-control. And Lauren is right too. It's more about after that self-control comes into play that, addiction can be, considered a illness, But on Marjorie Taylor Greene, I've been on top of it, Flame. I've been on top of it.
Because Vesper's in Georgia.
I want to urge everyone to be as active as you were under 45. Because if we do not put the pressure on them, they will continue to do whatever the hell they want to do. And I'm already on top of Ossoff and Warnock. They promised us $2,000 checks. What are they doing right now? Trying to play around with Mitch McConnell and work around the filibuster? No, they can do this through reconciliation. And they should have done it last week. So I'm going to give them a month before I start losing my shit. But no. We should have had that $2,000 checks in our accounts before the 1st. It is the 1st. To me, it's like that $600 barely got us over the hump of this month. And I know that we are better off. We're not great financially, but we positioned ourselves to weather the storm. But now we are coming close to that little bit of, that $600 did not go very far. And I know it wasn't like that there's so many people out there struggling right now to buy food, to put a roof over their head. And whether or not they did this moratorium on evictions does not matter. People can still have an eviction on their record because it gets filed with the courts, and then it affects their credit, and then it affects their future housing opportunities. So a moratorium on evictions doesn't do anything except for kick the can down the road. There's still people who owe money on their rent, who owe money on their mortgages, and they're playing around with this money. That's our money. That's my biggest thing. And we need to put the pressure on them. Democrats, Republicans, it doesn't matter. They are elected to serve us. And that's what we need to make them do.
Vesper, that's the word. Because let me tell you, if you pay taxes, that's your money. Mm-hmm. And the fact that they're holding our money hostage is a damn shame. So I am right there with you, Vesper. Give me my money. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. What the commercials say, it's my money, and I need it now.
Exactly. Exactly.
I need Rihanna to go back and remake Bitch Better Have My Money. And
you are an honorary member of the Black community, Vesper, because I love that you get so heated. But let me tell you how I know you white, because you keep sitting down to write emails and write letters and shit. Black folks ain't going to write no letters. We might send an email. We might going to make a phone call. And if you don't answer twice, we ain't calling back. They're going to have to call me back. That's what, they're going to have to call me back. That's how we know you're white, Vesper. But we appreciate, Vesper, you always keep us on the ground level in Georgia, letting us know what's going on. You're politically savvy,
I also want to bring one more thing to your attention. There is another senator. I'm right on the border of Marjorie Taylor Greene's district. There is another House representative here in Georgia who is my House representative, Barry Loudermilk. He has not denounced these white supremacists. He has not denounced the insurrectionists. And now he's falling in line with Marjorie Taylor Greene and starting to parrot her. He's got to go. And I've been calling Kemp's office about him too. So this isn't just about her. I mean, the pressure is on her right now, and we need to keep that pressure on her until she's gone. But all of these people that are in office right now that did not denounce white supremacy, that did not denounce those insurrectionists, they're traitors and they got to go.
Come on, Vesper.
That's it.
Period.
I'm sorry.
You heard it here first. Vesper had put it down. Thank you, Vesper.
Thanks, Vesper.
Baby,
thank you for having me.
Vesper had got hot. I love it. Oh my
That's
God.
time number 2. You got people all hot today.
Yeah, let's get some. Wait, before you bring Nikki in, let's bring somebody else on. We got to get another opinion. Baby, people is hot. Y'all is cutting up.
Let's get Miss Cassie.
You baby, y'all is. Look. Ooh, child, let me get my fan, child. Oh my God, I feel like I'm in church.
Miss Cassie, we're coming to you.
Hey,
I feel like I'm in. Hello, Cassie, my darling.
Hi, everybody. Oh yeah, I'm in. Hi, Lauren, beautiful Lauren. Hi, Flame, and hi, Nick. addiction is a choice. It is a choice.
Okay.
You make a choice of whether you're going to go out and purchase that alcohol, or if you're going to go buy that joint, or if you're going to get that, go out and get the meth and smoke it, or the heroin and stick it in your, it's a choice. All it takes is one time. If you can't smoke weed or eat edibles and do it casually, and it's an addiction, and you want it and you want it and you want it, you have to make a mental choice in your mind that I want to get right. It's a choice. Just like I make a choice about Nick. I love bread too, and I be grubbing on bread too, and I got a big ass stomach to show the bread that I like to eat. But no, I'm sorry, that got me heated. It is a choice. It's a choice if I want to eat a bunch of candy, and if I have diabetes and my blood sugar goes through the roof, I make a choice. I have a family member who is addicted to gambling. She has a choice if she's going to drive to the casino. Mind you, this family member banned herself from certain casinos so that she couldn't go to casino. Girl, she going to drive to another casino. It's your choice if you get in the car and drive, or if you get that weed and smoke it, or if you get the alcohol and drink it. It's all self-control, but mind control. Have you made up in your mind that I want to be better, that I don't want to take these drugs? Because drugs has tore my family apart too. So I'm sorry. I just came on ranting and raving, but my blood was boiling.
Oh, no, that's what Laugh and Learn is about.
We appreciate
Let me
it.
tell you something. We love that emotion. You know, that's my whole gripe about whenever something happens on TV. Don't be trying to show off other cameras. We want to know it for the real. I want the authentic you. And whether you would have agreed with me or not, that's not what this page is about. Get it out. Get it out.
Blood. You know, I gained a lot of weight because I like to eat food. It's my choice if I want to get up in the middle of the night at 2 o'clock in the morning and cut some cheese, because I like to cut the block of cheese and eat it in the middle of the night.
Ooh, that's fat for real, Karen.
It's very fat.
Girl, that's fat for real. I thought my bacon every day was fat, but in the middle of the night cutting the cheese, I thought you was talking about Putin, girl.
No, actually, a block of cheese, I'll cut and slice it, eat it with some crackers, and just eat it.
Ooh, that is ghetto as shit. I love that. That's project. They used to give us free cheese and butter in the projects in Chicago, but I love it.
Ghetto. But yes, I agree with Vesper. They should give us our money, and I do agree that we need to vote. People need to vote. It ain't just about the, presidential election. We need to get the right people in the positions of power, and we need to get a lot of them rich white people out of the Senate, because they don't understand what us little people go through.
Yeah. Cassie, thank you for coming on with all the emotion. Girl, you was all the rage today. Thank you, my darling. I had an interview with NBC this morning because apparently this weekend, Michael Chi made a joke about them lifting the ban on the trans people for the military. So NBC wanted my opinion because remember I made a joke about it on They Ready in 2019. Speaking of They Ready, the new They Ready 2 season starts tomorrow on Netflix. So make sure you can watch it midnight tonight. But if you have Netflix, please watch Tiffany Haddish presents They Ready 2. It starts tonight. Anywho, they called me because they was asking my opinion on the whole them lifting the ban on the transgender in the military, and I was like, I think it's great. I think that the transgender community have made so many strides in the last 2 years that we keep the little stuff supersedes it. So with the pronouns and the bathroom rights and all that, this is the fight that we want to have. But we have a state senator, McBride in Delaware. We have under the Biden administration, a doctor who's transgender. Now we have them, they have lifted the ban. 95% of the transgender community that's complaining that Michael Chi made a joke on Saturday Night Live Saturday don't even want to be in the military, wouldn't even sign up for it. Probably don't even vote. So what is the big issue here? So it would just go. I'm saying this so the interview is coming out on NBC because it's gonna go on to our next topic because the WNBA player just had top surgery. Very my tea. Oh my God, you know I love me a trans man. Good and topless. Yeah, but as long as you don't mess with that bottom. Anywho, what's her name, Lauren? Come on.
Her name is Lashia Clarendon. Am I saying that right, Nick?
Clarendon.
I'm sorry, Clarendon. Lashia Clarendon. I'm saying that correct, right, Nick?
I think it's Lashia Clarendon. I don't know either because I've not heard anyone pronounce her name. I know that she went to Cal, and I know that she has also, Lauren, because you mentioned her in the story we did a few months ago, because she's also been one of the core sources of the WNBA being behind Say Her Name and the whole Black Lives Matter
Warnock
movement.
and everything else,
So
yeah.
she's been extremely active in all of that. So, yep. Yeah.
Yeah, but like Flame said, she's a WNBA player. She recently had top surgery, and she actually plays for the New York Liberty Guard.
And top surgery is when a woman has her
yes.
breast removed to be flat chested, because that's how they identify. So she had her breast removed so she would have a flat chest like a man, or like a male.
Yeah, and it's my understanding she chose to do this for cosmetic reasons. We know that some women have made that choice to as a preventative measure as well. So it does happen for different reasons. And I believe, Flame, that she is identifying as non-binary. So I don't know that she necessarily wants to be identified as male as much as she just did not want the impingement. Maybe.
Well, that's not my area of expertise. I identify as an 18-wheel truck, and I will roll your ass over if you get in my way. No, I identify as he, she, we. He cash a check, she make the money, we spend it. That is my identity, yeah.
I think what I love about this story, and one of the reasons I wanted to make sure that we spoke about it, is that we always talk about people living their truth and finding their space. And one of the things that she said that actually probably just brought it all home for me. She said that she was fearful in coming out, sharing her story, because she is in a relationship. She has a girlfriend or wife. I'm not sure if they're married or not. But she talked about how she was afraid of what the backlash might be. And then what she found out was that there was so much overwhelming support from those with whom she plays in the WNBA, and the people that she feared the most would reject. And she's been overwhelmed by the love and the positivity. So I always think that is an absolutely beautiful thing when someone steps out there and lives in that uncharted territory.
Let me tell you what's a beautiful place. When you know who you are, when you look in that mirror and you see you looking back at you and you recognize you, that's a beautiful place to be.
Yes.
Hats off to you, Lashia Clarendon, because at least you know who you are. You know how many people walk around here don't know who the hell they are? Rich and powerful and still don't know who the hell they are.
Yeah.
It's fucked up.
Recently, Joe Biden signed an executive order to end federal contracts with private prisons, which is very monumental to say the least. Now, to provide some context, we understand that this is not going to completely obliterate the private prison system. It's a small piece of the larger pie. However, we still want to acknowledge the fact that he did this because it's still something that's very important. Private prison system, it's a $1 billion industry. Every bed that's filled is a check for somebody. And, 9 times out of 10, it's filled with somebody who is a black or brown color. So the fact that Joe Biden did this, within the first 2 weeks of his administration, I think speaks to what he's trying to do overall. So shout out to him. But like I said, this is just a small piece to the larger problematic pie of prison systems, private prison systems.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you all, because Flame, I know you enjoy him as much as I do. Bill Maher had Van Jones on this past Friday. And one of the things that Van talked about is his work, with the prison project and all of that. And I forget the name of his particular group.
Cut 50.
Is that what it is? And
yeah,
so
with Kim Kardashian. And
talked about one thing I thought was interesting, and I know that people have varying opinions on Van Jones and on Kim Kardashian, but I do think that it is possible for some of the really most flawed among us to still do things that maybe are part of a larger important project, right? And I'm trying to think of what is the without getting into the weeds, but there are those who have committed their lives to prison reform, right? And one of the things he mentioned is how they've been really wise in a lot of these private prisons. They're in rural communities where they employ so many people, so they get tied into your economic base, and all of a sudden, we've got X amount of people who work there, and we ought to keep it here. But one thing he said that just resonated: anytime there's a profit margin for anything, you're now looking at inmates as product and no longer as people. And what needs to happen, which I thought was really interesting, is that prisons should be more of a Christian-based model where we're talking about reform. Christians believe in redemption. We don't focus on that in prison. It really is about incarceration and it's about punishment, and that whole system needs to change.
Van Jones, let me start right there. That Stephen from Django 5 out the 7 days of the week nigga. Let me say what I said. Because to me, my opinion, my page, if you don't like it, that's how I feel. Van Jones is a sellout ass nigga from Django because Van Jones is a fence rider. He came behind at the very end to jump onto the bandwagon. Now he's on this whole prison reform because he's dating Kim Kardashian.
They're not dating. Don't do that. They're not dating.
They're not dating?
No, they're not dating.
Oh, they just fucking.
God.
Oh, I'm just asking for a friend. I said what I said. What they gonna do? What's they gonna do? Come to my page? Anywho, Van Jones, to me, is part of the problem because when it's time for him to speak up, he's one of those brothers that throw the rock and hide the hand until it's convenient for him. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, do your research and go back and look at some things, especially when the Obama administration was in, especially when Obama was first running for office, that first go round. This nigga lost in the sauce to me. I said what I said. He's very attractive, and sometimes he's with us, but I don't need a sometimey fair weather friend. I need you to be here or here. There is no in-between on this because they made it where we can't have an in-between. You can't fence ride right now. You are either on this side of history, like you said, Lauren, or on the opposite side. Let me tell you something. I love Bill Maher, though, and I love what they said about the prison reform, but we already knew that was a factory. That was always, especially since they become privatized. It is really like a factory. It is like a fucking, and they make $600 million a day. You know how many celebrities and black folks are invested into these private prison systems? I'm talking about famous black folks, basketball players, very famous basketball players. I ain't going to say the nigga name, but lots of people are invested in this. So this is a business for so many that you don't know their names because you don't see their faces publicly, but they still flowing their money in. And in order for that money to keep circulating and boomeranging, you got to have prisoners, starting with us.
Really quickly, one, I absolutely agree with you on the Van Jones comments. But secondly, Nick, can you just clarify the Christianity comment? Because there was a couple of things that flew up asking, why are you incorporating Christianity into the prison conversation?
One of his arguments was that the whole idea behind Christianity is redemption and giving people a second chance. And the idea behind incarceration is the fact that, hey, we believe that every sinner has a soul and everyone is worthy of redemption. If this is indeed true, Van had made the argument that, many in the Republican Party had wanted to take the lead early on before this became a prison industrial complex, saying that, hey, we believe that people can be reformed. What are we doing to educate people so that when they come out, they're prepared? We believe that we say this is the price you pay for this crime. Are we teaching them about Christ while they're in there? Are we helping them to learn how to be a better father or mother so that when they come out, they can be part of society? But if we continue to treat them like property or chattel and we don't prepare them to reintroduce them back to society, we are creating a system of recidivism. And that's where he was saying that the Catholic or the Christian model of reform would be better applied to those who are incarcerated.
And these are Van Jones comments?
Yeah, this was this past Friday. And they also had, without going into it, they had this couple of biologists, not bioethicists, but biologists who were talking about the origin. And Flame, I thought about you talking about the origin of COVID. So
to clarify, everybody in here, these weren't Nick's thoughts before y'all start coming for him. These were Van Jones's thoughts, so don't come for Nick. That's why I had him clarify.
Let me tell y'all why Van Jones been so lost. Because Van Jones thought he got the golden prize. He had got the golden goose, honey, up in Wonderland when he married the white woman, had the babies, and she left him and took her children and reminded him, brother, you ain't my husband no more. You's just a nigga. Van Jones has not recuperated from that. He is a broken man. And not because she was white. He is just a broken man who is trying to find himself. I wonder who he sees when he looks in the mirror. Because he don't see a brother. He is the most, one of the most, and I think he's a good looking man. When I in my youth, I would have gave him a run around the block a couple of times, but I don't like that his DNA and his constitution don't spell man. It spells weak, and I don't like weak men. Period.
Yeah. I mean, I have a few issues with Van Jones.
I got a whole lot of them. More than
yeah, I do. And
tell
even
that nigga to call me.
And even you kind of saying those remarks regarding faith and reform and Christianity, it sounds so absurd to me, because I mean, we've had the conversation about religion on this show before, and everybody's relationship with God is personal, and the fact that he is trying to put like, oh, you need to read a Bible and it'll help you reform prisons, it's like, what are you saying? But also too, for me, it's just, he's such a flip-flopper, and it's just like,
offense rap.
And this is my issue. I don't like or respect people that conveniently use the Black community to seem like, or to profit off of us. And that's how I feel he conducts himself. And that's what I more so don't appreciate about Van Jones, because he married a white woman and he thought that was going to get him somewhere. It didn't work out because she left him. And but anyway, I'm saying all that to say is that if you're going to be for this community, then do it, walk in that truth and be in that space 24/7. Mm-hmm. That's my main issue with him. Mm-hmm. And don't, make, what do I want to say? Don't
disparaging.
Not disparaging, but just don't use, convenient devices to make arguments around religion and Christianity. I don't appreciate that. It upsets me. I don't appreciate that.
That's it right there. You want to start a fight, have a conversation about politics or
and religion.
Baby,
straight up.
In every community and every nationality, it starts a fight. Nicholas, before we get off of here, we never did get who you taking for the Super Bowl, because I know you're a huge football buff. Who you got?
I am a football fan, and this is, I'm going to get it. But, and my crew, we always root for the Black quarterback.
Okay, good. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say Tom Brady. I was like,
No. This is what I will say. I will say this. Tom Brady showed us just how he really is. Let's say this. Tampa Bay Buccaneers never would have made it to the playoffs without Tom Brady. They definitely would not have made it to the Super Bowl without Tom Brady, because we saw what they did with the talent they have now last year with Jameis Winston, who threw for more yards, half of them interceptions, but look where they ended up. This year, first year, learns a new system, moves to a completely different climate, everything changed. Players he never played with, and you still get them to this. How do you do that? Aaron Rodgers was supposed to stop him. He said, yeah, Aaron, okay, I'm going to show you what old men can do. So part of me is like, you know what, for old men everywhere with a little bit of gray, I'm like, yes, I love it. But,
let me speak on Tom Brady's behalf. The reason Tom Brady is so bomb is because he's married to Gisele Bündchen. Baby, she's beautiful to look at. I'm telling you, sometimes when you look in the mirror when you get it in and the person that you with is prettier than you, it makes you feel wonderful. Gisele Bündchen is beautiful. Good woman on his side, baby, make him boss. I still don't think they're going to win, but he got a good woman on his side. Back to a thing you said, Nicholas, about religion in prison. The prison definitely don't teach religion. But when I was in prison, because I was in prison, you know how many men was in there, they find God in prison. They go to jail, they get clean, I love the Lord, bless this house, and woo, they talk the whole God, but when they get out, they leave God in jail. Nigga, you needed God while you was in there, but when you get out, you leave him in there. Well, he waiting for you when you come back. I'm just letting you know, because that's the line. Oh, yeah, I found God in jail. But they all religious and living a certain way, and then as soon as they get back free into the world, they go back and revert to their same thing, if not worse. Not all of them, but a lot of them. But they leave God in there, so they leave the religion in there. They find God while they in there. As soon as they get out, they free. They back to basics. Baby, let me tell you something. Religion is one of the touchiest subjects. And when my 1 hour special come, I'm going to give it to y'all for the first 17 minutes. I have had a wonderful time. I don't know about y'all, but I had a great time.
Flame, I was thinking, I just want to say to the Flamettes, something got in my eye. I don't know what's going on in this place because
crybaby.
Oh my goodness.
Crybaby ass.
Getting bad air. I'm telling you, maybe it was just a hint of COVID or something. I don't know what's going on.
Absolutely not. We're not taking that one.
Oh, okay.
Nicholas, we love your sensitivity here, and we love that you know who you are. I'm telling you, it takes. I don't cry in public in front of nobody because I'm a monster. But men who know who they are comfortable being who they are in front of everybody, and that's what this page is about. We are who we are. Period.
Yeah.
Yep, we are indeed. And again, we're not trying to get anybody to change their mind.
We are just simply trying to get you to use your mind.
Because critical thinking is powerful, baby. And when you're talking to me, don't come at me dumb, because if you come at me sideways, I'm going to straighten you up. We had an amazing time. Thank you guys so much for joining us here at Laugh and Learn. Please remember to share, like, and subscribe to Lauren Hogan on YouTube, Nick Smith News, or Flame Monroe, or Apple, iHeart, Spotify, Amazon, wherever you watch your podcast, you can catch us there, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for being a part of the conversation. Thank you to our producer, Tribble, to our cameraman, Kendall, and yeah.
We'll see you guys next week.
I love you guys. Peace. Remember, can't no bitch do what I do. Not now. They keep trying, though. Bye.